one of the parties in all of this was not aligned, and that's the utilities, who are taking a commercial decision, and you would argue short-sightedly, because they wanted the cheapest possible product. They want more of this, more and cheaper for longer. So that was the battle you were fighting, and these guys had big, deep pockets in terms of their lobbyists. I mean, that seems to me a big part of what was going on in all of this.
Well, look, and again, we have very good relationships with many of the utilities, and I've delivered uranium to many of them for decades. But yeah, no, and I give, the utilities are, looking at cost, and they're trying to manage their businesses as they have to. But look, I think that for a small company like Energy Fuels and the uranium industry, because it's not just Energy Fuels fighting this battle, but mainly Energy Fuels has taken the biggest position, I guess, in pushing it forward. I think we have, as I've always used that phrase, we punched above our weight. I mean, these utilities are very significant organizations, and with multiples and multiples of billions of revenue per year. So look at it's that's why I said we're gonna keep pushing on all those fronts. We're not going to give up. We are not going to give up. But at the same time, we're going to manage our business based on the market fundamentals.
Okay. Well, okay. Big discussion, lots of unknowns. Timing is, well, we know there's a stop date at the end of this year for the RSA, and that seems a big moment for utilities, as does the US election, and that's another big moment. And I know there's a consensus that nuclear is part of the solution at both sides of the House, but the Democrats a little bit less so than the Republicans, I think I'm hearing from you. So I think even the utilities will be wanting to understand what the outcome of that election is. But that then has an impact on timing, because the dust doesn't usually settle from a US election until, February, March. And then maybe there's a shakeup, even if the incumbents stay in. So again, what does that do for timing around utilities, decision-making, term contracts, etc.? How do you feel about that?
Look at it. There's a lot of uncertainty, and uncertainty is uncertainty, and so look at, as I said, we're preparing ourselves for any eventuality. We did pay down half of our convertible debt. We're looking at the other half on how to best address that. We're increasing our inventories, but we do think that as I said, there's uncertainty, but I think that if there is an administration change, they're talking more negatively about hydrocarbons than they are nuclear, and actually, to a certain extent, supportive of nuclear as being important to get to zero carbon emissions. So, look, and I don't want to over speculate here, Matt, but I think you've seen over time that we are a company that positions ourselves aggressively but not recklessly when it comes to the overall picture of the company, and we will be the survivor, or one of the survivors in this space, and because of the way we manage the company now and going forward.
I get that. And so one last kind of macro point here. Okay, so you producers, you're a producer, right? The largest in the US. The Cameco's of this world, and I guess even the Kazatomproms of this world. You have relationships with utilities all around the world, and I know you can't badmouth them. You've got professional relationships with these guys, but it's been a sort of deeply frustrating process for all producers for the last couple of years, has it not? To have this fight, this debate around pricing. You need a certain price to be able to get back into production, and you need to be incentivized to do so. So getting back to the question, which is, what do you think the timing is for utilities recognizing that if they don't push the button soon, you guys aren't going to be able to get it back into production and give them the pounds that they need when they want it?
Yeah, look, those are the trade-offs, and I think that some of the utilities understand that and appreciate that. Some of the utilities don't. You know, they think that total dependence on the Russians, you know, is fine. I mean, even companies like Cameco, you know, some think, well, we'll be totally dependent on, you know, our allies, and you know, we have no uranium production in Canada right now. The production is dwindling in Australia with the shutdown of Ranger at the well, will be at the beginning of 2021. So the Western world, I mean, that's the clash. It's really the state-owned enterprises in the Western world. That's the clash. You need higher prices, substantially higher prices for the entire world, including the Western world, to continue to survive in the uranium industry. You know, some of the state-owned enterprises maybe a little less so, even though a lot of them are not as low cost as people want to think. So that's the clash. You know, do you want a diversified supply chain, or do you just want to get all your product from state-owned enterprises? So, you know, yeah, that's the uncertainty there.